Hey, thanks for tuning in. I am sitting here with fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Conaway. So, Mrs. Conaway, how long have you been teaching here at West Branch?
I've been here. I think this is going to be my 8th year. So the kids that are seniors this year, that was my very first group of fifth graders at West Branch. So I believe that was back in 2015.
Awesome. So you have me beat by a few years, and I know I'm pretty excited when that first group finally moves through and graduates. Because right now I don't know a lot of the kids that are graduating. So that's awesome. Did you teach anywhere before coming to West Branch as far as another district?
When I first started off in 2001, I used to teach at Sandy Valley, and
Hmm.
I was there for 4 years. I was a title teacher there for fifth and sixth graders. And then I actually decided to leave teaching because I was planning to go to Bible school
Yeah.
so that I could do children's ministry. Um, Ended up didn't do that. Met my husband instead. We got married and then had
Hmm.
kids. And when the boys were about 2 and 5, I did go back into teaching, and I spent a year with Plain Local. They have a Catholic school that they service,
Oh,
so I
okay.
worked a year. And we were actually living in North Canton at the time, but then we moved back here to Beloit, and I got a job at West Branch about a year or so later when Brody, I think he was in first grade.
Oh, nice.
So
Well,
been
very
here
good.
since.
Very good. So you've been here. So let everybody know. Of course, I could just say it, but it's probably cooler if you say it. So what will you be teaching fifth graders next year? What class?
Yeah, I've been teaching fifth grade language arts all around, or ever
Awesome.
since I've been.
So you already kind of dipped in on this a little bit, but just quickly tell us a little bit about you. Anything you're comfortable with sharing.
Okay. Well, I'm actually from West Branch.
Hmm.
I'm living now in this house across the street from where I grew up.
Hmm.
And Mr. Yeagley and I, we went to school together. He was a
Sure
year
did.
ahead of me all the way. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I've
And the
known
paper
all
boy
my whole life.
and the paper boy too.
Yep. So
That's
can't get
awesome.
away from the area,
Yeah.
but
Sorry about that.
no, that's all right. No, like I said, I've lived here pretty much all my life. My husband's from Canton.
Hmm.
We met at church. Um, it's going to be 17 years ago now. And we have two boys, Brody and Colt. And
Hmm.
Brody is in eighth grade this year, and Colt's in sixth grade.
Yep.
And yeah, so as a family, we do a lot of stuff together, but our most favorite thing is going to the beach. We love
Hmm.
going to Ocean Isle in North Carolina. So we
Yeah.
spend as much time there as we can in the summer.
Yep. I know. I definitely know you like the beach, and that is a definitely a popular place to go for sure. Um, so let's kind of shift gears a little bit. What are some just general things? Obviously, the details, there's a lot of them, but just what are the general things kids can expect to be doing in your class throughout the year, different activities?
Obviously, with language arts, there's going to be reading, there's going to be writing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what we have to do. We will do some cursive. Last year was the first year that the kids actually took time each day to learn their letters in cursive. And then with our spelling, we actually had the kids write the words in cursive as well. So we will probably be doing the same thing again this year. I like to get into grammar because it is important to know like your different parts of speech in a sentence so that you can have good writing. So even though it's reading and writing, and I know it can tend to be a boring subject, I try to keep things moving. I try to give us like a little bit at a time so that the class is always moving, moving, moving. So with that, we'll probably still do some read alouds as we've done in the past. And then, two, since we have a little bit less time in class this year, in the past, we've been able to give kids time to actually do work in the classroom so that they didn't have the homework. The only homework that everybody has every year, as far as like all of your language arts classes, is to read 20 minutes every night. And we do keep a reading log of that. And those reading logs at the end of the 9 weeks can either bump your grade up or they can bump your grade back if you don't do them. So they are important to do. And then this year, the kids will probably have a little bit more homework outside of class, just because we're not going to have as much time in class to get those things done.
Right.
It won't be, I mean, it won't be extensive, like maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, which really isn't that much. But if you can keep up with it, it will help over the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had, it's, you know, I'm going to do an intro video that they may or may not want to watch, just general structure of the school. So we're moving away from block schedule, which put the kids in ELA and math and for 5th grade science. In the past, not this year, it's been 80 minutes. And we're going down to 55, which initially might sound negative, but I think there are, like anything, there are some real big pros too that I think we can get out of this also. So what about, let's hop over to mastery. When you know, when a kid gets a grade, that's to represent their level of mastery. Of course, a C is in the middle. They have a fair understanding. B is a better understanding, and then an A kind of represents the top understanding. What are some different ways kids earn you know, points and all that for mastery that represent grades?
One thing, like when we're looking at questions that they do, maybe like after a mini lesson statement, there's a question that they have to answer about their book or the book that we've read. Just making sure, for one, to get all of your points in that, making sure that you're restating the question, making sure that you're telling us who or what you're even talking about, why, like answering the why or the how, giving us examples. The biggest thing in 5th grade that we hit really hard is examples from the text. Like everything that you have to do in 5th grade, everything goes back to the text.
Textual evidence.
Yeah. So if you can use that textual evidence in your answer, that shows us that you understand it. And then just a conclusion. So that's one thing that we really look for. Just making sure that you have your homework done. If you're going to be out of school, you're sick, you have to get that homework done. I mean, that's where your main points are. And, you know, giving good quality work. Like, don't just give enough to get by, because you will lose points with that.
Right.
You need to go above and beyond. You need those examples. You need those details, especially when you're writing. Right. And then when it comes to the reading, because we do different reading tests, you may have to read a passage online where you have to answer different questions with it. Going back to the text, that is the best way to do your best work on that. So those are the main things that you have to look at. And it's textual evidence, going back to the text, using those details to support, and not just that, but then elaborating. Don't just give us the basics. Right. Like, take your time to explain what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I can concur. Actually, that's a subject I used to teach, but I taught juniors and seniors, and those things continue to grow and become, you know, very important. I even taught AP, and the same thing. What does the text say? And sometimes there's not a text, and you elaborated on the fact that you can, many times there's different ways to answer, but the key is explaining why you think that way, or the because, and elaborating, and not just saying the answer. I guess it's kind of different from math like that. You have to kind of explain and show your work, I guess, maybe in math, but just in a different way in ELA. Well, you've already, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I almost forgot one thing. We do spelling. Or in 5th grade. We usually do it like 2 weeks of reading, 2 weeks of writing. And during those writing weeks, that's when we have spelling. So there will be spelling tests all throughout the school year. Along with the spelling test, we also do a vocab test too, because I don't want you to just memorize the word and be able to spell it. I want you to at least understand what the word is. Right. So that's one thing. Like, you need to be preparing for your spelling test. You need to be practicing it. And we use Quizlet to really drill those words. So that's something that you can play with at home to really get your spelling vocab.
Yeah, and just kind of close down. I know ELA, math, and science parents, and you may or may not know this, but 5th grade might be new for you. all three of those subjects are tested on the state level. And the whole point of that is to see how kids are doing, see how, us at West Branch are, interacting with the benchmarks, and that way we can continue to grow and make adjustments. So I guess I only have one more question for you. And of course, I appreciate Mrs. Conaway coming, in to speak with me. Well, not in, virtually, I should say. It is summertime, and I do appreciate that. So my last question, you've been here for a while, you went to school here, you live here. What are a thing or two that you really like about teaching kids here at West Branch?
I guess what I like is just the community. Growing up here, I know that the community itself, they really support our teachers, they support our kids. Um, it's it's just that feeling of family. I feel like obviously from growing up here, yeah, this is my home, but it's the community around us and it's the teachers that really make, I think, the kids and just even other teachers feel like family. So that's
Mhm.
what I like most about it.
Awesome. Well, I know that you will be looking forward to soon. You'll get your roster. I'm sure you know some of the kids, but you'll get to know them on paper. But I think way more important, you'll get to know them in person and get to understand what their smiles look like, what their handwriting looks like, and everything in between. So I appreciate you coming, stopping by and sharing some information. Make sure you have a good day, and fifth grade ELA. I think we're in good shape. Thank you.
All right, we'll see ya.